point, all I can really say is holy crap. Now, for those of you out there who haven't heard the recent news and pertains to Dragon Ball Super, we have some major spoilers coming in and pertains to Dragon Ball Super episode 62 to 65. So in case you guys want to avoid all forms of spoilers, simply tune off of the video right now before shit gets really crazy. Perfect. The Dragon Ball Super episode 62 to 65 titles have now been officially revealed, and boy oh boy, do we have some really unexpected things happening. First things first, we start off with Dragon Ball Super episode 62 with Goku and Vegeta going back into the past, leaving Trunks behind to fend off the future by himself, going up against Black and Zamasu. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is a good idea, but given the circumstance that he's supposed to have this new superpower, Trunks will be holding off both Black and Zamasu by himself in the future, while Goku and Vegeta go back into the past to see if they can find any sort of way to come back into the future with to hold back Black and Zamasu. In the meantime, that goes into Dragon Ball Super episode 63. Now, Goku's supposed to learn the Mafuba technique. Now, for those of you out there who don't know, the Mafuba technique was used by Master Roshi on Evil Piccolo back in Dragon Ball to kind of seal him away, but actually Master Roshi failed in doing so, in which resulted in him kind of dying off. So now we have Goku trying to learn this technique to kind of seal Zamasu and Black off, but meanwhile, while he's trying to learn that, we have Trunks in the future who gets critically damaged by Black. So at some point, Goku Black manages to critically injure Trunks, not really on the verge of death, because there is no confirmation on Trunks dying. So he's not dead, in case you guys are wondering if Trunks is gonna die. He's on the brink of death because he is critically damaged, but he is not confirmed to die. So anybody out there who's wondering, oh my god, is he gonna die? He ain't dead. But in the meantime, we have Goku and Vegeta who go back into the future after presumably learning the technique or possibly gathering some more information on how to defeat Zamasu and Black. In the meantime, again, keep in mind, spoilers, Dragon Ball Super episode 65, the rebirth, so to say, we have Zamasu combining powers with Black Goku. What? And I can't even begin to imagine the depth and magnitude on how strong Zamasu and Black would be if they were to combine powers. Just imagine that for a moment. And with that being said, we have Zamasu and Black who both combined their powers to create the Supreme God. Episode 65, we have the Final Judgment. Now, episode 63 is supposed to be involving Vegeta's fierce battle in a way, and then after that we have the combination of both Zamasu and Black into one entity, and then we have the Final Judgment per se. Now, I do want to touch up on this, and I want to talk about that anybody out there who is predicting that Zamasu and Black were going to fuse, you guys were right the entire time. Never in my wildest dreams did I even imagine or think about Zamasu and Black combining powers. It was hinted towards me once I picked up on the Potaras, but at first I was just like, you know what, maybe, just maybe they might be using the Potara earrings for the sake of traveling throughout time. But now we have a better understanding as to the real purpose of the Potara earrings aside from just traveling throughout time, and now we have the combination of Zamasu and Black using the Potara fusion, which again is going to make them absolutely stronger than they ever were before. And just thinking about that just boggles me. Imagine that for a second. We have the combination, we have the powers of Goku Black fused with the immortality of Zamasu. Now you have to ask yourself, at what point do Goku and Vegeta have to stick their heads out of their asses to realize, oh shit, we're in trouble, we're gonna have to do something fast, because if we don't, we're gonna die. And with that being said, now the entire community is talking about a second fusion. Now we have Goku and Vegeta. Where have we seen this before? We've seen this before in Dragon Ball Z with Majin Buu absorbing Gotenks, Piccolo, and Gohan. Buhan was arguably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, within Dragon Ball Z at that time as being a villain, and thus we couldn't have Goku and Vegeta fight him off by themselves, in which case resulted in clipping on the earrings and formulating Vegito. But here's the problem. Goku and Vegeta, they don't have the earrings in the past or in the future, so what do? Now, a lot of you guys are hinting at, what if they use the fusion technique? Here's the problem. Vegeta doesn't know the fusion dance. So how is he supposed to actually perform the Metamarise fusion if he doesn't know the actual technique to the actual dance? So there's a lot of problems here. Now, again, I don't think, in my opinion at least, that we're going to be seeing any sort of fusion from Goku or Vegeta, and the only reason for that is because A, they don't have the Potara earrings, and B, Vegeta doesn't know the fusion dance. So if Vegeta doesn't know the fusion dance and they don't have the earrings, what do they do? Now I think at any given point as of right now, if there was ever a time for Beerus to get involved, I mean, F the rules, break your own rules. He's been breaking rules since Battle of Gods, right? So why not break the rule of going into the future just to see what's going on? If he feels the need to step in as God of Destruction to battle up against the Supreme God, that would make more sense than ever, because now we have Beerus, who pretty much feels stupid on telling everyone that he felt like Zamasu did not exist in any other timeline, and now he sees Zamasu in the flesh and he sees that he had combined powers with Black. Now this gives Beerus more than a reason to step in and fight and combat this person, given the circumstance that Zamasu was supposed to be the Supreme Kai of Universe 10. But instead, he got greedy, he got selfish. His perspective on humans, on Ningen, was just terrible. He felt as if us humans, we're not worth anything, so he just felt as if everyone should get exterminated, and thus he went rogue. And I think more so now than ever, if there was ever a time for someone to come in and clean up Zamasu's mess, more so now than ever, I think that person ought to be Beerus, because we haven't seen Beerus fight since Battle of Gods. Just disregard the whole Monaka costume fight, because he wasn't even trying. He was not supposed to reveal to Son Goku that it was actually Beerus. He was supposed to pretend that he was somebody else, so that doesn't really count. Then we have the Battle of Gods fight where Beerus stepped in and he fought Super Saiyan God Goku, and let's be honest, he gave him a great ass fight. We saw Beerus stab Goku in the abdominals. It was crazy. And now, so more than ever, even hinted by Whis, being told by Whis, Beerus has been itching for a fight now. He's been itching for a fight for a long ass time. So now, so more than ever, if he ever wanted to fight someone that we can all presume to be equal to or near equal to in caliber to Beerus, this would be the perfect fight. So now we have the combination of Zamasu and Black. They're going to be wreaking havoc. Now the question is, how do we stop them? It's like a double-edged sword. It's like you can't really win. If you try to fight this person with 3 Saiyans, you're going to lose. I mean, and you're not properly equipped to use fusion. I mean, again, no earrings and no knowledge on the dance. So not unless, of course, we see, and again, this might be something that might come up later, not unless, of course, we see some type of transformation come from either Goku or Vegeta, or maybe even Trunks. But here's the thing, if Trunks is critically damaged, I think at least this pulls Trunks out of the equation, and now we have Goku and Vegeta. So what can they do? Obviously enough, Whis back in Battle of Gods, if you guys don't believe me, go back and watch it, back in Resurrection F, Whis kept telling them, you guys need to work together, not hinting at fusion, but fighting as a cohesive unit, help one another. And of course, we know how Vegeta and Goku aren't too fond of fighting together, so maybe the powers of Black and Zamasu might be put to use as they go up against Goku and Vegeta, who fight as a cohesive unit. But I think at least, even as a cohesive unit, those fools are going to get their asses whooped again, badly, more so now than ever. We're talking about a Potara fusion. Think about that for a second. So we have the immortality of Zamasu, and we have the raw depth and magnitude, the raw power of Black being put together. That makes for a very, very deadly opponent. But here's the thing. If the Mafuba technique is used, will that be enough to completely seal away Black and Zamasu? I personally hope that does not happen. I really hope that they don't utilize the Mafuba technique similar to Roshi. I hope that they attempt it and they actually try to seal them away, but it fails. But in a nutshell, I think that something bigger ought to happen, and none of us were actually expecting this to actually go down. Not a single person. Maybe there must have been a few people within the community that were solely bent and solely stuck on the idea that Black and Zamasu will fuse. And for those of you out there, I'm speaking directly to you. You guys are awesome. Make sure you guys applaud yourselves, a pat on the back, because I didn't really expect to see Black and Zamasu fuse. I was thinking more or less they might go after Black first since he's not immortal and take him out the equation and then focus more on Zamasu. But now we see that Trunks is critically injured. We see Goku and Vegeta travel back into the future, and now these two are like, what's up? We took your boy out, now you're next. And it's like, what do? So I came up with a solution. Maybe if myself, alongside all of you guys, if we all jump on one time machine, in which case we'll be a little cramped in there, but I think we'll make it work. If we all go into the future and fight Black and Zamasu together, I think we can do it. I mean, I got my Saiyan gear on, I'm ready. Not really. Might get stabbed. Don't want to get stabbed now. But either way, now we have the Supreme God come into play, and we can only speculate as to how strong this dude might be. Even if, by some mere coincidence, by some chance, if Goku and Vegeta fuse, we have to ask ourselves, well, If they go back into the past, are they gonna get earrings? Or maybe they go back into the future and they're getting their asses kicked and Goku like grabs Vegeta and they hide somewhere and Goku's like, alright, so this is what you need to do, bitch. Equal your power to mine, do a little bit of that, and then we'll combine. And I think more so now than ever, I think Gogeta would be good because he's running on a timer. He wouldn't be permanent. Remember, keep in mind, Vegeta would be permanent, but then again, they can always defuse because we saw Kibito and the Supreme Kai, you know, they defuse, so they can always introduce that factor and have Vegito come into play and then ultimately enough get defused later. But the likelihood of that happening, I think at least, is probably slim to none. And again, I do have that feeling that fusion from Goku and Vegeta may not be introduced, but what about the Omni King? Just because Black and Zamasu fuse doesn't mean that they are the most unstoppable beings in existence. Keep in mind, did you guys forget about the Daishinkan, the Grand Priest, the top 5 fighters in the entire multiverse system? They're still out there. We have the Omni King, who's probably sitting around watching this, because I really doubt that as omnipotent as the Omni King is, I really doubt that the Omni King is sitting there not knowing what's going on. I'm pretty sure, in my opinion at least, that the Omni King is aware, but he doesn't really have to do anything because it's not his position to do so. Keep in mind, he put the Gods of Destructions in position for a reason. That's, you know, if a situation like this were ever to arise, they would clean up the mess. So for me at least, I would love to see the God of Destruction come in, Beerus, and clean up the mess, or at least have an attempt to fight this person, because we haven't seen the true power of Beerus. Forget all these other people talking about Beerus having a transformation, which is like really stupid. But if there was ever a time for Beerus to really test himself, I think that opportunity ought to come by him fighting Zamasu Black. But then again, we also have to ask ourselves, Goku may still have the button. So if he has the button, is he gonna press it? I really doubt that he is, because knowing Goku, he's not the one to request for help. I mean, in essence, yeah, he does ask his, you know, his friends for energy or whatever. He may ask for fusion, but in terms of having someone else fight his battle for him, we've never really seen Goku go down that road. So I really doubt that Goku will deliberately say, you know what, I can't take this, bloop, and then here comes the Omni King. I really doubt that's gonna happen. If anything, we might see Zamasu Black grab the button and say, oh, so this is what you've been using to go back into the past with? Not anymore. I'm gonna press this button and I'm gonna destroy your time machine and you're dead. And just as they might do that, can you imagine if they actually press the button and they expect the time machine to pop up, but instead they turn around and the Omni King's like right there? Now that would be cool. But nonetheless, I think that the Supreme God is definitely, without question, going to give Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks the beating of their lives. But the question is, how do you stop them? Is it actually going to be the Mafuba technique? Are they going to summon the Omni King? Are they going to use the fusion technique? Are they going to use the Potaras? Are they going to summon Beerus to come by? We don't really know. We can only speculate as to what may or may not happen. That's why speculations are made out to be right or wrong. That's why we talk about these things. And based on your reactions, a lot of you guys seem to be super hyped by this, and I can't blame you, because after reading what I saw and after seeing what I saw, I was just like, holy crap, like my head meat just exploded. But even with that, there's not a single person out there who can argue on the fact that Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks are in deep trouble, because obviously enough, we do understand Zamasu's philosophy and we understand Black's philosophy. We've learned that Black is Zamasu. He switched bodies with Goku. They switched spirits. And of course, you know, Black is the spirit of Zamasu in Goku's body. So ultimately enough, it makes sense. We do have two Zamasus. Assumably enough, like from different timelines, we have one Zamasu from one timeline and we have another Zamasu from another timeline, but either way, it's still Zamasu. They're both Zamasu. One is Zamasu in the flesh and the other is Zamasu in the flesh of Goku. And having that being combined, we have two Zamasus ultimately enough fusing is scary. So one can only imagine how strong they'll be, but I want to know from you guys down below, what are your overall thoughts? How strong do you guys believe that Zamasu Black is going to be after fusing? And what can we do to stop these guys? Like, are they going to use fusion? Are they going to summon? Can you imagine if, like, Monaka shows up and he's the one that, you know, kind of, like, just destroys, you know, oh my god, that'd be a horrible ending. Nothing beyond Dragon Ball Super Episode 65 had been leaked or talked about or revealed, but some of the news articles posting this were talking about Dragon Ball Super Episode 66, Back to the Future, the God of Destruction versus the Supreme God. Now, again, there's no indication of that. There is no confirmation of that. So if you guys are seeing Episode 66 rumors and titles and stuff, It's fake. Don't buy into that. Episodes 62 to 65 are leaked, and that's what's being shown as of right now. But as always, guys, thank you all for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give that video a nice thumbs up. Finger that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for tons of daily uploads. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. As always, guys, much love from me to you. Thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll be seeing you all in the next discussion. Take it easy, guys.